Rev your engines and fasten your seatbelts. It's time for Thunder Talk with Dan Bailey, keeping you up to date on everything going on this season at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Thunder Talk is powered by Arcadia Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Now, here's your host, Dan Bailey.
Hey, race fans, welcome to another edition of Thunder Talk on the WINONA Sports Network, 99.3 FM, and streaming live on WINONARadio.com. I'm Dan Bailey. Welcome to another edition of Thunder Talk. Before we get into this week's edition of Thunder Talk, a quick reminder for those of you who are listening via the Mississippi Thunder Speedway YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video, share this video with all of your friends and family, offer some comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so that you are reminded of all future uploads to the Mississippi Thunder Speedway YouTube channel. This week, we are getting ready for some great racing action at Mississippi Thunder Speedway in remembrance of a great competitor. Tonight at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, the third annual K-Town Clash Casey Knutson Memorial, presented by Fastenal. Of course, Casey, a former competitor at Mississippi Thunder Speedway who we lost a few years ago, and he worked at Fastenal, so Fastenal jumping on board to be the title presenter of the third annual K-Town Clash. Casey, of course, was a successful B-Mod racer at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, so I thought no better individual to speak with on this week's edition of Thunder Talk than another successful B-Mod racer at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, Taylor Skauge. Taylor, first of all, welcome to this week's edition of Thunder Talk.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having me.
You are enjoying a very successful and positive 2022 season. You've already got 3 feature wins already this year. So tell us about 2022. Is it stacking up to be the year that you had hoped for?
We started the year off really good, and we got 2 wins, one in Winishik Raceway and one up at Deer Creek, and then we rolled the car over, and then it kind of threw us out of whack for the year, and now we're trying to gather it all back up.
But aside from the rollover, if you were to compare the feature wins with the rollover, are you still happy with how 2022 is going?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's been pretty good.
I mentioned that you've enjoyed some success at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Coming into tonight's Casey Knutson Memorial event, you're a 6-time feature winner, tied in the top 10 overall feature wins at Mississippi Thunder Speedway in the B-Mod ranks. What is it about Mississippi Thunder Speedway that plays into your hand? What is it about the track that allows you to be so successful at MTS?
Bob just takes so much time on the track and works it, and it's such a great place to race. I just think I kind of got the track figured out.
So let's talk about your racing career. I've mentioned already that you've enjoyed some success at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. You mentioned, aside from that rollover, that you've had some success already this year, but let's jump in the time machine and go way back to Taylor Skauge's beginnings in racing. How did you get involved in the sport? What was it that brought you to the sport, and what were your beginnings behind the wheel of race cars?
We started back in go-karts on asphalt over at La Crosse Speedway, and that was probably back in 2005, 2006-ish. We raced that for a few years and went to Canton Speedway and raced there for a year or 2, I believe, and then we went into the B-Mod class in 2014, and we've been in that ever since.
Was that a hard transition to make, moving straight from the karts into a B-Mod, or was it easier perhaps than you had expected?
I'd say it was pretty hard. I didn't catch on to it very quick, and I was wrecking a lot of stuff usually.
Well, I shouldn't laugh, but that's part of the learning process when you get into these big cars. Sometimes you bend up some machinery, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
You mentioned racing down in La Crosse with your kart when you first got started on the asphalt. Another individual who got started behind the wheel of a kart racing on asphalt and dirt down in the La Crosse area was Casey Knutson. So you actually spent some time competing with and against Casey, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We raced many years together. It was always fun. And then the last few years, probably back in 19 and 20, his cousin Taylor Knutson and them had a go-kart track, and we raced go-karts together just on like Sunday afternoons or something down on their track, and that was a blast always.
Then you guys both kind of made that transition to B-Mods about the same time, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
So not only were you two racing against each other with the karts, not only were you growing up in the racing community, but you also made the transition to to B-Mods at the same time. Were you able to battle with Casey the same behind the wheel of a B-Mod as you were behind the wheel of your karts? Or was it different once you guys made the move up to the B-Mods?
Oh, I'd say he was way better at me in a B-Mod right away.
What do you remember about racing against Casey, either in the karts or in the B-Mods?
He was just always a clean racer, always got out of the car with a smile and happy to be there.
So we talked about your past. We talked about the success you've had at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. We talked about 2022, but I want to give you an opportunity to let us know who's helping you in this 2022 season. Who are the sponsors on board the number 32 for Skauge Racing this year?
We got Richard Sanitation, New Albin Savings Bank, Cross Oil Company, City Door of La Crescent, Minnesota, Dirt Dealer Chassis, OFI Performance, Rogish Brothers Concrete.
As we move through the last event of July and set our sights on the final month of regular season action at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, that would be August, you're currently sitting in the top 10 in the point standings in the Black Horse Bar and Grill USRA B-Mod division at MTS. You're actually in 9th. What would it take for you to chalk this year up as a successful year? Aside from the rollover, you've gotten your 3 wins. You haven't quite got into victory lane yet this year at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, but at MTS, what would it take this year for you to say, you know what, that was a successful 2022 for me?
Just picking up a win this year there, hopefully this weekend here, Friday, and basically just a win.
Would it be maybe a little more special if you were able to pick up a feature win tonight on the Casey Knutson Memorial Night, considering the fact that you guys kind of grew up together, battling with the karts, having some fun in the karts, racing the B-Mods? Would it mean a little more if you were a winner tonight as opposed to some other night at Mississippi Thunder Speedway?
Yeah, that would definitely be cool if that would happen.
Well, Taylor, I tell you what, we wish you the best of luck as we move into this evening's 3rd annual K-Town Clash, the Casey Knutson Memorial, presented by Fastenal. You've had 3 feature wins already this year. Maybe tonight is the night for you to pick up feature win number 1 at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Taylor Skauge, driver of the number 32 in the Black Horse Bar and Grill USRA B-Mod division. Best of luck this evening at Mississippi Thunder Speedway, and thanks for joining us this week on Thunder Talk.
Thank you.
Hey, race fans, don't forget, tonight is the 3rd annual K-Town Clash, Casey Knutson Memorial, presented by Fastenal. You can get all the details about this evening's program at the official Mississippi Thunder Speedway website, which is MississippiThunder.com, or you can follow Mississippi Thunder Speedway on all the regular social media channels. They've got posters and information about this evening's program. Payout is listed. The event poster is available. We hope that we will see you tonight at Mississippi Thunder Speedway.
That was Thunder Talk, keeping you up to date on everything going on at Mississippi Thunder Speedway. Thunder Talk is powered by Arcadia Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
You ever notice that when you're on a fishing trip, you drive your boat all the way to the other side of the lake because you think that's where the best fishing is? And the people staying at the cabins on that side of the lake, well, they come and fish where your cabin is. You don't have to drive a long ways to catch the big fish. And at Arcadia Motors, you don't have to drive a long ways to get the best deal on a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram truck. The best deals are right in the bay next to your cabin. Take the short, scenic drive to Arcadia Motors. ArcadiaDodge.com.